Hello and welcome back to the free email marketing course. Today we're going to be breaking down your abandoned checkout flow. How to create a high converting one that is going to be doing numbers for your brand. This is definitely one of the more higher intent flows that you're going to be doing. With the cart, it's pretty much when someone adds something to the cart, they click off your website and then they don't end up purchasing. So they could be either just saving these items in their cart, to come back later on. And, people do get caught up with the day. So you just reminded them they've got these items in there. You reminded them the items and your brand. So again, it is quite a high intent one. It's not like they've got to the checkout and they haven't gone ahead with it. So this one, it's just a little bit of a nudge, reminded them that they've been looking at these items and they've obviously shown some form of interest. So without further ado, we're going to be breaking down how to structure your emails, how to implement things, and how to build it all in Klaviyo. So starting off with the first email, we have the return to cart button quite high up and an imagery of what they're going to expect. With this email, it's obviously the first one. It's going to be sent roughly between an hour or 2 hours after they've added something to their cart and they haven't purchased. Oh, we have a little bit of copy down here which mentions, life gets busy. So, if they've got kids, they're out with their friends, they get a bit distracted and they forget about their cart. So we're just doing a gentle reminder that they've got stuff in the cart. You will notice here it says dynamic block return to cart. So this is a interactive block from Klaviyo that actually pulls information from your customer and it shows the items they've added to their cart. So obviously your email is then relevant to the fact that, these items are in their cart and we're just showing things like that. So on to the next email. It is a little bit less aggressive. This is a higher ticket items for what they're selling. So it's like $190 for like trousers, which, is on the higher end of things. It's a bit more luxury. So this email is more about convincing them why they should actually purchase these items. And we're not actually showing them the items they added to the cart. We're just going through showing like social proof, the community, things that people have to say. In the video I did mention before, these emails work a lot better if you've got, like real life images of people wearing these clothes. So not just like models, your customers and real life images. They definitely do add a lot more validity to like the fact that, people do enjoy wearing your clothes. These emails, I call these like the filler emails. So between your first email and last email, the emails in between are like your fillers. So this is like a perfect object like time to, showcase more of your products, why they should purchase things, the social proof, the reviews. There's a lot more time to, spread things out and show people like what you actually have to offer as a brand. As I mentioned before, this is only a 3-part email and you can definitely take this into the, the 4s and 5s, adding a little bit more and spreading it across a longer period of time. This is definitely would be for something more like, an expensive piece of furniture. Say you're buying a desk for $200, you're going to take a little bit of time to think, do I actually want this desk? You potentially could be comparing other offers as well. So staying fresh in the customer's mind is key to this. The last email is a lot more incentive. So like usually on your last 2 emails, if it's like a 5-part one, emails 4 and 5, they could be more of an urgency based one. So as you can see here, return to cart, we've saved your cart, but not for long. Adding a little bit of urgency here. You can add a discount code in here as well, but with this brand, we don't actually tend to give out discount codes easily because we've trained our customers to actually purchase at full price more than waiting around for a discount code. Because a lot of these brands, they do rely on the fact that they're going to be doing discount codes on like a weekly, monthly basis. Customers are going to get to a point where they're going to be starting waiting for your discount codes, and then you are just missing out on profit there. So let's jump back into Klaviyo and we will go through on how to actually create this flow. So if we click on create flow, we can actually use a custom one for this one. So coming onto the create flow, if we literally just type in cart, it's going to come up with all these reminders, and we just click on this as well. As you can see, this account has been added to Shopify, so it's all integrated and everything's all in order. So we can just literally click use template. So this email actually has a conditional split for your SMS. So if we just go on here and delete, and then if we go onto the yes path, that's then going to delete the SMS. So it's literally just a straight line of all your emails. So the actual profile fillers that Klaviyo automatically applies, they're actually pretty good. However, the only thing you can change is has not been in the flow for 7 days. You can actually put this to like a higher time, like 10 to 14 days. And I have seen brands go higher. It's all just dependent on how aggressive you want to be. So I know a lot of people from like personal experience with like customers, they use their cart as like a way of saving items rather than like putting it into their saved. So if they're adding items on the regular, you're going to be sending them and they're going to be initiated into more flows. So it is going to become across quite spammy, and kind of turn away from that. So let's jump into the delay times. 4 hours is way too long. Like, even let's say, for example, you're up at 8, 9 o'clock, you've added something to your cart, you're waiting 4 hours, they're going to be asleep. So having something like with a little bit of urgency, depending on the value of your items and the average order values, if you're on like a lower average order value, you can put it like to 1 hour. You can be quite aggressive with it. If it's a little bit longer, you can go for 2. But this first email, I would probably stick to 1 hour. We'll go through on how to implement things and use the dynamic block in a minute. But we're just going to go through timing and stuff like that. The first email wants to be exactly 24 hours after. I'll make sure to hit save as well, actually, while I'm here. So save. The first email wants to be 24 hours, like a day after when they've added to cart. So this obviously is going to show that they're in some form of pattern. So we want to be targeting them at the time that they've actually added it to the cart. So as you can see here, it's a 1 hour wait. So what we're actually going to do is put this at 23 hours, because that's then going to account for this 1 hour, and it's then going to send it the exact same time that they entered it into their cart last time. Email number 2, and then if we chuck in another time delay here and another email here. Time delay, this one can be, depending on how aggressive you want to be, it can be another day, or it could be 2 days, like 48 hours. For a 3-part email, I would probably keep this to 48 hours, spread it over a little bit of time, and it gives them a little bit of time to ponder and think on things. And then it does have the last bit of urgency there. If you're running a longer series, you can put this to 24 hours from there, another 24, and then maybe make it 48 on the last one, just to prolong it a little bit more. But for this one, for the sake of this video, we are going to do a 3-part email series. In the first video, I have actually already shown you kind of, you're already there to know how to write a subject line and preview text. In this one, you just want to create a little bit of spark a bit of curiosity, saying oh, you've forgotten this. In the preview text, saying a little bit about your brand, you're missing out on your comfy new pajamas, whatever product you might be sending. So let's jump into the email and go into edit. As you can see here, we have a little thing here. This is called a dynamic block, and it's split up with an image, name, and this is actually going to show the price, and it's going to have a call to action button as well, so they can click straight into their cart. There's also a button here that says make your purchase, and here you can see it says event URL. So then that's going to use the URL created here, and it's going to take them straight back to their cart. So it's very important that you make the process super easy. They don't want to go back onto the website, add everything they've just added to the cart again. You want to save this cart and just press a button. They have it all in front of them. So then they can either remove items or just go ahead and straight purchase things. For the ease of this video, we're just going to delete the headers, delete the text, and we're going to keep this block here, and we're going to keep this button here for the time being too. Just delete that. So first of all, we're going to add an image above here and jump over to this and press S on the keyboard and select this. As you can see, I've already sliced this as it was actually put into the original 𝐂𝐚𝐽. I've seen a few people as well on tutorials or watching myself. When they're jumping around, they don't actually hit the borders properly. So it's very important to make sure you're actually on the border of the email. I've seen people, they've gone a little bit short. So when you import the next image in, it's almost like a zigzag. It's all skew width. So make sure when you're slicing, you are doing it to a very good level. So if we go to JPEG and done, upload an image, and I'm just going to click original for this one. Cool. So want to put your alt text in here. So soft, cozy, and almost yours. Return to cart. God, I can't type. So the link address you actually want to be putting on this is what is on this button here. So if we just copy and paste the link address here and jump onto that, boom, that is all good there. And then as you can see on this last one, it does have text in there, but we'll just slice this. You could have sliced it all in one, to be honest with you. One thing you want to make sure is every single image you're importing into your email wants to have some form of link attached to it. You don't want to leave any image without a link on it. I think people are getting to the point that they are aware that emails, you can just kind of click anything and it's just not the button. So just make sure everything's like this, and it's going to take them straight across to their saved cart. So when we get to the actual button, you can see this is blue. That means it's hyperlinked. Obviously, it's going to be, if we click on the link, event URL. So that means when they click it, it's going to take them to their cart. We can just change the color of this to black. This one, you can actually use a drop tool, and It's kind of like a off brownie we're using for this one, or it might actually look a bit better with the gold. Click on the gold, and there's that done too. Also, you want to make sure that we can actually change this text color to jump into Figma and then text, and then we can just get the hex code here. There are tools that you can use for this, but it's just easier for me to jump like that. So the text is matching everything and it's all looking congruent. The only one thing we need to do is change the font. So 𝐂𝐤𝐺 does actually have most fonts in here, and I know this one is Poppins, which actually hasn't been added. So you'll obviously check with the designer what font you've used. As you can see here, it's Poppins, and then this one is 𝐶𝐤𝐿𝐿𝐿. So make sure just to use, the font that you're actually using in your email, keep everything the same. For this one, obviously I'm not going to do it because it's not been installed. You can actually add fonts, drag them across and get them into 𝐂𝐤𝐺. Dynamic block here. We actually don't have a button on the website, but we can keep it the same. So with your buttons, you want to make sure that the buttons are exactly the same as what you use on the website. So if you have radius buttons or you don't, for example, this one we don't, so I'm going to put 0 radius there. Change the color to this gold color. We can keep the text white too. Obviously we change the font to whatever the call to action buttons are as well, and return to cart. Cool. And then with these buttons down here, you can actually make these a little bit longer. So here you can go to like 30. It's just going to make the button look a little bit longer. Also increase text size as well here, so 20, depending on how big you want your button. And like so. Also, don't forget, you've obviously got your footers and everything like that. You can build these out, so you can just drag and drop them. I'll show you in here. This is for a different brand on their 𝐂𝐤𝐺 account. So you can go into style, universal, and then somewhere in here will be the footer. Here we go, footer, and then you can just drag and drop. So it's going to have all your social media links, any link that you have to shop and stuff like that. Saves you like having to do it every time, link it all together and waste your time. I've just noticed one thing that 𝐂𝐤𝐺 does like to do. They tend to add, as you can see here, there's padding around the button. Remove this padding because on dark mode it's going to show up as black, so it's going to make your buttons look a little bit odd. Oh, do that. Especially on images, it's not too bad on a button, but for this we want to go for that. Then the button here, we have a drop shadow as well, which is automatically applied. We can just press minus on that and then it's going to get rid of it, so it's just all one button. Obviously, don't get me wrong, this red footer does not go with it, so don't worry about that at all. Also to mention with this, if we go on to styles, you have the block background color. So as you can see, it's just made it all black. So if we just remove the padding on this, let's say for example this full email was this red color. What you can do is you can go on here, click block background and make it red, so it's going to look all the same throughout your email. Obviously this is a bad example because it's not going to go with the design we're showing, but just for the sake of the video, if it suits your brand, you can change the background color to suit. So obviously it's going to look all like one email. This one, we'll just keep it white for the sake of the video. Awesome. So that email is built out. So if we click preview and test, as you can see, it's pulled in something that someone's actually been clicking on. Again, this is a different 𝐂𝐤𝐺 account to what we're actually using. So it's pulled in someone's dynamic thing. So someone's added at this date and it's pulled in, what they've been looking at. So it's a dynamic block, and also the total size is miles below, so it's not going to get clipped in Google at all. So everything's all good on that end. You can also use this bit here, send it to your email address, have a look what it looks like on your mobile phone, which obviously, because we've used images, it's going to be fine. And that looks cool there. On your, you can check on your mobile phone. Also check on dark mode on your mobile phone, make sure everything looks smooth. I've seen from brands I've audited recently, let's say for example, their logo's here. They've actually just imported a JPEG of their logo rather than like a full image. So when you go into dark mode, you've just got an image with a white box around it, which doesn't look professional at all. So click exit, and then obviously you would have filled out all your names and subject lines. This one, just put which is our agency, email 1, and then done. That is your first email done. So obviously you'd repeat this for everyone. We've already gone through timings and how to set everything up on that. So now we are at the end of the video. We have just broke down how to build a basic abandoned cart reminder and using the Shopify triggers and template from 𝐂𝐿𝐿. This is a easy design. There's nothing simple about it. There's nothing like complicated at all. The only things that you can mess around with, as I mentioned before, you can change obviously your days here, change the times between emails. You can run some A/B tests and see which performs better for your brand, and obviously start capturing some people that have got some intent of purchasing your products. I want to say a massive thank you for watching this video. Please leave a subscribe and like on this video. We are doing a full email marketing course for free on the house that you can obviously implement with your brand. If you're a brand that is looking for someone to represent you with email marketing, feel free to use the link below. There's my Calendly link and website to our agency where you can just literally book a call with us and we can audit your current setup, go through how we'd structure things, how we'd actually handle it if we was to run your accounts, and what results you'd be expected to see. Thank you for watching this video, and I hope to hear from you in the future.